Hey guys, the Atari 8-Bit Game Hunter here to do a pickup video of what I was able to pick up in the last week. Between doing my first ever YouTube purchase slash swap, between my flea markets, my garage sales, it's been a pretty interesting week. And a lot of interesting items actually came in during that period of time. The first item I was able to pick up was a purchase off of YouTube from Boomstick 229. From her I was able to pick up a Vader Atari 2600. It's not perfect, but I tell you, whenever you come across a Vader at a reasonable price, I will pick them up. Especially this one, because it needs a little bit of work. And believe it or not, I think this will become my Project Vader. Meaning I have a special project in store for it. And I look forward to seeing how that works out. As you can tell, the controller parts do work on it. Everything works on this system. It's just the one port on the side there for the game selector. Just doesn't, the pin broke off of it at one point or another. But overall, it's a nice little system. It's going to be a fun system for me to work on. I look forward to that. Thank you again, Boomstick 229. Let me see, where do I want to go? The first item I picked up today at the flea market, and my boy told me it's an okay deal, it wasn't an amazing deal, was the Sega Master System Type 1. Now, I paid a little bit more than I guess what you would usually pay for one of these, but the thing I gotta keep in mind when I'm buying systems, besides looking for just a great deal on them to begin with, is the fact that you have to factor in shipping on eBay when you're buying these things on eBay. Or even on the message board for that matter. You might get a decent price on them, but you have to keep in mind what's the shipping cost going to be and the time you're going to wait for it. And this one came pretty well stocked. It came with 2 controllers, the AV cable, the original power adapter for it. So I was doing good in that department. And it also came with 5 games. The first one being Choplifter, Rambo. Picked up another copy of Outrun. Now this has always been my favorite game from day one, and it's got all the paperwork inside of it. I love that game. Came with Shinobi. That one came, there it goes. Oh well. You just saw the cartridge fall out, it's complete in the box. And it also came with Rocky, which, once again, the cartridges are falling all over the place, but it is complete in the box with the manual. So I got 3 box games, 2 loose games, and the system complete, tested, working beautifully for $50. Now, which would sound a little bit high, and you'd say, oh, maybe you paid more than you should have paid for it. But I was able to go around a little bit later on, and another woman for $10 sold me another joystick controller stick, and the light phaser gun, which for $10 plus a Coleco controller, which was very clean. Everything seemed to work properly on it. I hooked it up to my CBS ColecoVision I have, and now I'm one step closer to actually being able to use the damn system. I still need to come across the power supply brick. I'm still needing the cables for it, the switch box, which I know is easy to come across, but slowly but surely I'm building that system one thing at a time. Also at the flea market, I picked up a couple of Gameboy games, including Home Alone, which, Matt, I know you told me this was going to be a bad game, and I know it was bad for Super Nintendo, but for $1 something, I'll pick it up, add it to the collection bin. Ghostbusters 2, a more beat up label of Paperboy, and Bugs Bunny. I think all these games cost me $2 or less. And something that is common but not, I don't think as common, Sonic 2 but for the Mega Drive. Over here in the States you never see Mega Drive games usually in the wild. I mean, there's a retro game store by my house. They usually have a couple of Mega Drive games in the box and everything. But Sonic 2 for Mega Drive, I've never seen that before. And for, I think it cost me $2, $3, I picked it up. I know in the wild I'm not going to come across that usually ever again. More likely than not. From eBay, not eBay, from Atari Age, I picked up Silicon Warrior for the Atari 8-bit. This is my 178th unique title for the system, so that's going to bring me a little bit closer to where I need to be on my collection to get complete. And while I'm talking about 8-bit cartridges, this was my eBay deal. I don't know whether you're going to see this. This is the 810 diagnostic cartridge. It's complete, looks brand new. It's got the old school label on it, so whenever you find new old stock and you find it on eBay, you pick it up. That's another one. That's 179th cartridge title for my collection. Puts me at 203 altogether. Let me think. Going through one of the Goodwills in my travels this week through the ambulance company, I managed to pick up Shaq Fu for the Sega Genesis. I heard this is a very horrible game, but for $2 I'll pick it up, add it to the collection. Maybe I'll put it up for trade. Trying to think. I got this one today at the flea market for the 2600. I'll just knock out this whole group of stuff. This is Canyon Bomber. I got the picture label one the other week, and now I have the text one to go with it. This week from the local retro video game store, I picked up a couple of good titles. Ansi Battle with the 02 end label. A picture label Backgammon. Raiders of the Lost Ark with the Sears style picture label end label. One of the games I'm surprised I did not have in my collection. My friends were surprised about it. I didn't have Star Raiders up until now, so that'll go in the collection. Basketball on the Sears brand picture label. Cost me $1 because of the label error issue with it. Also picked up Haunted House with the Sears picture label. I've never seen that before, and I'll tell you, I see something I've never seen before in all the years I've collected, I will pick it up. And I also picked up a homebrew. Jammed. Came out on Atari back in 2001, I believe. Yeah, 2001. It's supposed to have 600 different levels. Only issues, you don't know which levels you've done, and it doesn't keep track of that for you. But I'm okay with that. Between me and my boy Matt, we picked up, I ended up buying 2 of these off of him for the 3DO, the sampler CD, complete. I picked this one up out of the bin at one of the flea market / clean out shops. Primal Rage. Like I said, I still don't know much about this. I'm still trying to learn about it as I go along. Decent shape. Everything seems to match. And the one I picked up from my boy Matt, BC Racer. Like I said, this is another one of those games I'm still trying to learn about, still waiting to hear about. The only thing I was able to find out about these two on online was the guy who picked up a tonnage of this stuff, like 200 games or something. And these two types of style games, the CD service labels, they were only found in his section that he was talking about as either alphas, betas, or prototypes. Alphas are early stage testing versions of the game. Betas are usually the latest late stage testing of it, and we all know what prototypes are. So definitely interesting, and for a couple of bucks, well worth the time. Trying to think, is there anything else I missed in my travels? And I believe not this week. That went a lot faster than I expected it to. But I look forward to seeing what I can find in the next week or two. I'll be finishing off the Atari 8-bit prototype deal. I send the guy the rest of the money this pay cycle. And also throw a little bit of money to one or two guys on Atari that I have a backlog with. So we'll get that straightened out. And that's about it. I'm not going to show you right now the Coleco controller because I have it hooked up. And I think from here on out with the Coleco stuff, that's going to go towards my collection. I'm going to wait on the software or the hardware stuff I find, because at some point this is going to get finished and I'm going to have a fully operational ColecoVision to share with everybody. And when that day hits, we'll just do a video just on the ColecoVision. Okay, till I see you guys next week. I'll meet up with you guys next week sometime to do the Gaming Moment Back in Time video. And either Saturday or Sunday we'll do a nice little pickup video on what I found for that week. So till then, you guys have a good rest of the day. Enjoy yourselves, be safe out there, and game on.